It's Monday. It's Mark Pires. I was walking down the and this is the longest running daily show on planet Earth. 1,442 days in a row of variety, so if you can subscribe, ding the bell, make sure you turn all notifications on, and share. We're going to get into it just like we do every single night, but tonight it's going to be a little different. Instead of me sitting here and performing all night and singing songs and creating comedy, I'll probably still create some comedy here, but I thought we'd have a session where perhaps you ask a few questions. Maybe questions you've always wanted me to answer, or maybe just questions about what's coming in 2023. Remember, I am Mark Stradamus. I can see the future. At least if you go back through the last 5 years of this show, which we have been live for almost 1/2 decade, every single day. And if you started at the beginning and you just watched daily, you would have seen the truth that took place over the last half decade. And we're going to continue on with that same spirit of transparency and living in the moment and creating. But tonight I want to have an opportunity to answer some questions and also talk about what you think is coming in 2023. So we're going to get into it. We're just waiting for a woohoo from Matt Zabrowski. You guys know the routine. I do have a fresh cafe over here so we can get into the old Q&A goodness. I did think we could even potentially have a Zoom call. If anybody wanted to actually get on the air and have a chat, I'm open to that as well. We don't do this enough, but I do want to start doing it more often. And just to have a chance to chat. Also, just to, I'm sure there are questions that all the time you guys are like, hey, Mark, and I'm in the middle of playing a song, and I didn't see the question. And then the next show goes by, you're like, oh, man, I wonder if Mark ever saw that question. No, I never go back to look at the chats after the shows because I'm a realtor. All I can do is spare this time. I come out here every day and put on the show and get back to making a living. And that's just the reality of life. I could tell you that if this was a career of mine and I got paid for this, I would be going back through every single chat and log for the hour show every day. And if there were any questions, I'd be able to go and review them and respond to them. But I just don't have time like that. I wish I did. There is not enough time in a day to do things like that, to go and see if I missed anything. You know what I mean? Because I'll miss too much opportunity. So I hope you understand that. So please, tonight, if you can, let's get our questions in, and we'll see where that goes. I haven't brought TikTok in yet. I'm sure I will at a certain point. I usually bring him in after Zabrosk because nobody understands Zabrosk. Not like you guys. No, Joanne, we know you understand Zabrosk. You pay him. Guys, we're doing it 1,443 days in a row. Matt Zabrowski, can we get a woohoo, please? Something to live for. Zabrosk. Yeah, no, I'm throwing it to you. He goes, what? I'm throwing it to you. Woohoo! Yes! Thank you. Don't question why I'm pointing to you. What we're doing. I don't call out your name just to chat. Doing a show, monologue style. You're there, getting ready for your woo-hoo. And you think you could just be like, what? Yeah, I'll tell you what. That was a heck of a woo-hoo, Matt Zabrowski. Heck of a woo-hoo. They write stories about it in the future. You guys don't know this because you're not Mark Stradamus. Yeah, I get it. You just show up. I'm here for the potato chips. You came for the chips and the dip. We got sour cream and chives. You got a freaking sour cream and chives going? I'm here doing the Back to the Future Mark. 2769. Guys, when you're from the future, and you've been every single person from the past, Abraham Mark Lincoln, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Michelangelo, Leo Marco da Vinci. Should I go on? When Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 was a big deal. You guys must have seen the intro, What's that, Joanne? Yeah, no, I stopped slavery. That was on me. And then, of course, they stole it from me just like every other time in history. Oh, Michelangelo, what a beautiful piece. Michelangelo's having a bad month. You think you could give it to him? Let him sign the bottom of that canvas? Sistine Chapel style? I did a God-touching human. That was me, Michelangelo style, You guys know, though, nothing worse than when Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, I'm there doing the fifth. And they stole that from me. That was a big deal. Good old Wolfgang. Anyway, guys, the point is there's a lot of stuff coming in 2023. And it's probably not a lot of good stuff. And I want to hear from everybody. We're going to see what you guys have to say about it. And also, like I said, this is going to be answer some questions for the faithful fam that show up here on a daily, and I'm sure have a few questions at least for the guy who's been showing up for a half decade every single day. So I think we can get into it here. We're at the point Zabrowski dropped a woohoo, like almost Grammy worthy, ish, right? What's that? No, Zabrowski was good. It just wasn't great. Sometimes you got to bring it when you're doing a woohoo. Joanne's bringing it with the wheeze. She's wheezing it out constantly. It's a nonstop wheezing situation with Joanne. TikTok, thank you for joining me. This is the longest running show on earth. 1,443 days in a row live every single day. And tonight we're doing something a little different. Usually I write songs and we create comedy and just, talk about the news of the day. Tonight we're doing a Q&A and we're talking about what do you guys think is coming in 2023. I have my thoughts, and it seems if we go back over the half decade I've been live every day, I've been broadcasting the truth that I see on a daily basis. And if you look back over all the face swaps I did and all the, everything that took place, the music, all the songs that were written about society, they're all true now. Everything, and there was a period of time where nobody was, able to find them. But if you go back and watch them, you go hear the songs, you're like, holy freaking cow, that came true. And the thing is, I didn't realize how vindictive and how divisive this is in general. But then again, as I told you yesterday, this is the game. The game of the devil is to get us to hate each other. And if they, whatever the heck the devil is, can get us to hate each other, then he can win our soul. And I'm not giving my soul up. I don't know about you guys. Man, I thought about some crazy stuff too with Santa Claus and Christmas. And I wrote a full Christmas album last year. But I started thinking about the depth of the deception of the devil, and how he really is trying in all ways to claw away at us in order to steal our soul away. And so at the end of it, if this... Well, I think that's obviously just the overarching theme of what he wants. And we make decisions along the way. And we decide whether or not that's the path we want, and which is very much earthly, or if we want to think a little bit more about the soul and about what it is here for. It's not here to drag others down and to live on this freaking earthly plane with this mental, I would say weakness. It's a weakness to be fighting with people and not allowing others to speak their minds freely without, some sort of mob trying to see if they could cancel. It's important for people to speak their mind. And you're not going to agree with them, but that's because we're all unique. We're supposed to feel different things and have some sort of common understanding that it's okay to think differently. It's okay to have different feelings. I'll actually fight to allow, who was it? Voltaire, someone said, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing that before, but I may not agree with you, but I will fight for you to have the ability to say what you want and have the ability to speak freely without somebody else putting you in some sort of jail. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. In the history of time, the only people who've ever suppressed others from speaking an other opinion than what they believe is from an evil perspective. There's never been like a good group that's like, hey, we're going to stop other opinion from being spoken. It's just always from evil. And that doesn't change. It's not changing now. So I'm worried. I'm worried about 2023, the economy, obviously, real estate. I'm very concerned with what's happening with the marketplace right now, where they've raised the rates and they're going to continue to do this. But because nobody's putting their houses on the market, prices are staying higher and deals just aren't getting done now. And that's a major problem for real estate in general. Sellers are still caught up on this whole, oh, well, my friend did really great 3 months ago. Yeah, 3 months ago. Everything shifts very quickly in a night. And you're talking about how you want to get the same thing as your friend. It's not going to happen. So I think it's important to be real and understand that we're up against some challenging times in 2023. And whatever business you're in, we're going to see a tightening of the wallets. People aren't going to be spending money on the little things. They're going to be holding back because they need to pay for things like oil, for water, food, for their housing. They're not going to be out there buying the little necessities of the past. They're not necessities. They're luxuries. And smart people, and not even smart people, people who understand the challenges of life are able to cut away the luxuries and go back to the basics. And those that can't are having a harder time, obviously, but they learn. Everybody has to learn to live within their means. The problem is, what is that going to mean in 2023? I've always feared this whole AI revolution that's coming, where they're going to have robots doing everything. And also they have it now. You can go type in a topic and this AI program will write out a full book for you, a thesis, a novel. I'm sure it would do a novel if you said, I want you to write a novel about this in like 2 minutes. And it's probably good. Not great, but good. One day it will be great. And so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's make them smarter and be autonomous and be able to learn on their own and take over the world. What are we going to do tomorrow, Brian? Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Dun, dun, dun. So guys, any questions you may have, let's get into it. It is friggin' cold. I just have to be honest about that. Here in the studio. Do you see the, carbon dioxide coming out when I breathe out in the space? I thought about wearing the jacket, Should have done that. I should have worn the jacket. Joanne, can you do me a favor and get the... Joanne, wake up back there. Wheezing and tooting. She's on one of those, burrito kicks again. And she always goes to that one place, the crap one, What's that, Joanne? No, Joanne, I wasn't saying you're a crap one. I was saying that the place you go is a crap one. Clean out your ears, Joanne. Anyway. So who has any questions for me or for Joanne? Do you have any questions for Joanne? Joanne would be happy to answer a question or two if you just blast it on the screen. And if you haven't followed yet, this is the longest running show on earth. What are we talking about over here? Right? 1,440, 4 days in a row. 43. Joanne, tomorrow is 1444. How about that? Geez, that's a lot of days in a row. Bradley first. Barilla. My friend, good to see you. Stacy Michaels in the house. Not a good combo, Joanne. No, Joanne, definitely not. The tootaroo. When Joanne does a tootaroo, the freaking clears out neighborhoods. Some people have like those stink bombs. They're like, oh, I put it in a store and the whole store just like evacuated. 20 minutes later, Joanne, world record, 3 in a minute. 3 minutes, 27 seconds. 27? 3 minutes, 24 seconds. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was off by 3 seconds. 3:24. Joanne, Tootaloo. She did it. It was Bradley's. Who remembers Bradley's? When I was a kid, Bradley's and Caldor's. You could go to Caldor's. I forget what they had. I mean, I guess it was basically like a home goods type of place, Caldor's. You go into Caldor, and you're like, I want that freaking little trinket over there. Caldoring it. Bradley's in Caldor. Trent, how are you, my friend? So good to see you. Oh, Trish Killian in the house and Stacy Michaels, S. Coop. Who else is here kicking it with me? Let's see. I said Barella, my brother. Wharton, so good to see you, Wharton. And Virginia, you know when you're doing it. And Virginia's down here. And of course, you don't want to deal with the Virginia scene. I should put on that scene. Virginia would get a kick out of it. Remember, guys, we did Norfolk? You don't want to... That's a bit. We did 2 or 3 bits about Norfolk, you know? Shut your mouth. Sorry. Didn't mean to. You're out at a party with that guy, you know? He's just a real chooch. He gets really Norfolked up, you know what I mean? He's like out there doing it, drinking it. He's doing like the freaking beer bong. Oh, look at Trent. Back to Trent. Trent's doing the beer bong. Getting really Norfolked up, you know? No good. That girl, she comes by. What are you doing? Norfolking much, you know what I mean? I'm here doing a beer bonger. You want to go, you know, Norfolk later and everything? Like, we'll do that? She said yes. You guys remember, we were there together. We saw it happen. Our friend Trent went into the room, do a little spin the bottle, right? Yeah, you know, Trent won, you know. It was a good night. It was a good night for Trent. That was the night he met his bride. Yeah, they got divorced 3 weeks later. But still, it was a good time for 3 weeks. 2 weeks and 3 days. That last 4 days was tumultuous. But still, Trent did it, you know. He did it. Joanne. No, Joanne. Joanne says, is he single? No, not anymore, Joanne. He may be, but she's a Weezer. What's that, Joanne? No, Joanne, I was just saying that you're a real crowd pleaser. You know? Poor Joanne. Joanne, please stop tooting. You know? The wheezing, I know we can't get you to stop doing that. But the tooter-looter? What are we talking about? You can't stop a tooter-lootering? You know? I wanted to get a turbo air freshener by Menon, and they just didn't want to sell it to me, you know? They didn't sell me the company either. I tried to buy Menon after, you know, it's there for years, I'm seeing it. Buy Menon. Okay, I came in, I brought a big bag of cash and my checkbook too in case I needed extras, you know? Hey, drop it down the table. What are you doing, sir? I'm here to buy Menon. Menon's not for sale. Hold on. You're telling me, Menon? You're telling me to buy Menon for years? Hey, hold on. I'm there. I got my bag of cash, right? You're there telling me that Menon's not for freaking sale? I can't figure you. You're there telling me false advertising. 15 years. Buy Menon. I friggin' came to buy Menon. You're not going to sell it to me? I'm calling the FCC. I'm calling the BBB. I'm calling the freaking Airbnb. I don't know who to call. I'm calling them all. How dare you? Christopher, my brother. Guys, Christopher McLeod, my brother's in the house from Canada. That's my boy. And we have Virginia and Stacy and S. Coop. Guys, so who's got the first question for me? Anybody have anything that they want to add or anything they want to ask me? It has been 1/2 decade live, so I'm sure there are some questions that are lurking. S. Coop said, Barella would like to know your story about the beat seat. I'm very happy to tell that story. So, it's 2011. And I'm playing a show. It's a monthly show at a place called the Georgetown Saloon. And I'm playing with a guy who's the drummer for Jose Feliciano. His name's Tiger McNeil. And so Tiger, let me make sure that doesn't shut off on us. Tiger is amazing. And he's not playing a drum kit. He's playing on a thing called a cajon. Now, a cajon is a box you sit on. And it's got one panel on the front and one snare inside. It makes 2 tones, basically, a kick and a snare. And he's got a bunch of other stuff around to make it sound like a drum kit. He's hitting on things. He's got all these he's doing a loop. He's trying to create more with this one box. And it was great. We were doing this duo. In fact, I have a piece here I can show you guys from when we first were doing that show. And this is what led to the invention of the beat seat. So 1 week, it's about 1 week before one of these shows. Again, it was every month. So it's about a week before the show, he calls and he says, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do the show. Jose was called to do a set of shows and I gotta go. And I was like, you gotta go play with Jose Feliciano instead of me. What are we talking about? By the way, we were getting like $50 each to play this place. So yeah, he's going to play with Jose Feliciano. So he goes to play with Jose Feliciano and I'm all of a sudden left as a solo guy, which was fine. I always was a solo guy. I was always a guy who played with his pedals, but I didn't have percussion. Having Tiger add the percussion for me was like, wow, I finally have the all-around experience that I wanted for my music, which is a real drum kit. Or I thought that. It sounded like it could be, you know? And obviously, a drum kit's so loud, guys. Keep this in mind. So, Tiger can't make the show, my buddy. He's awesome. And I said, okay, well, I guess I have to build myself a cajon. So that's literally what I did. That night, I went home and I looked at cajon online. I said, okay, it's a box. And I made the dimensions based on what I could see. And I built myself a cajon that night. And I put the thing together. And the moment I sat on it, I realized it's not designed for a guitar player. It's designed, I don't even know what the freaking cajon does. It's not designed for any human being. And so you have to either kick backwards into a cajon in order to make it sound, but you can't play it you can't play it. I was like, because I've got to kick this thing while I'm playing. And so immediately when I realized there's no way to access the panel, the one panel on a cajon, I saw the beat seat flash into my mind. I literally saw the vision of it, what you see today. And you can't see this, but the beat seat is wider at the back and more narrow at the front. So when I hit it, wherever I hit it, it sounds different. And to give you perspective, that's just a couple things in the front that you have. So you have like unlimited tones. We call it omnitone. And it's the first drum that allows you to sit completely upright and play your guitar. But you could also do the same thing and play with your hands and feet at the same time. The cajon makes you bend over. You hurt your back. Like, no, I don't know any drummer who loves their cajon because they have to either play it weird or they have to bend over to play it like this. And like, I could sit completely upright. So we have 4 playable panels. We have 2 snares. And so the thing is, I invented this and I go out and I play it for the first show and I'm just kicking it with my left foot. I'm playing songs and I'd be like, I didn't even realize that my right foot could create a snare yet. That was later on, after I got comfortable with my left foot. And all of a sudden, adding a snare to the other foot, which is my subdominant foot. You got the kick foot, and then you got... So I have a snare, kick, snare for my feet. And that beat seat is born. All of a sudden I realize, okay, if I don't have my guitar, you could do all this stuff with your hands and feet. And I said, I've got about 7 or 8 inventions. 3 or 4 of them I've seen come to market over the years. I just never did them. I never patented them. I never got out there, never found funding, anything like that. And I said, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to patent this, you know? So I went through the process. I spent a small fortune in order to patent the beat seat as the first drum for a guitar player. And now I think that almost like this show, which is intended to bring people together, the beat seat is almost on an uphill trajectory because I've created a better mousetrap. And when you do that, the people who are selling the current mousetrap don't want your mousetrap out there. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going on right now, you know? So my hope is that enough people see it when I'm playing here live and say, you know what, that thing looks freaking ridiculous. I got to have one, and you should, because I've been writing. I've got 196 songs on Spotify on this thing, and that's just on Spotify. We've got over 300 songs here on YouTube that were all written and created with the beat seat as the backdrop. And I got to tell you, this is the one thing about the beat seat that I think every musician can appreciate. When you play with another musician, that musician levels you up because there's another energy involved. And when you hear another person playing well behind you, beat seats start at $500 and they're hand built by me. I sign them and send them off. Yes. S-Coop wanted to know to make sure I have a patent. I have a design and I have a design patent, and I also have a utility patent on the beat seat. So it's the first drum in the world of its kind. And that's the thing I really am very proud of, because I could have gone through that process and found out, that's already been done. And the thing is, you can get the best beats, the best cajones are like $750 to $1,000, and you got one freaking panel and one snare. And I'm like, they're not even hand built. They're all built in some freaking factory. I literally hand build them, and I downstairs in the shop, and it's funny that I wonder if I can show you this one real quick, just so you can see the detail. Stepping on the cord. But this is what a beat seat looks like. You got a hole in the back so you can put the microphone in, but if you could see it, it's hard to tell, but it's more narrow in the front than the back. And that is what gives us the omnitone. So, beatseat.rocks is the best way to check out the beat seat. And best way to put an order in. Oh, there we go. And I'll tell you what, man, so having that other musician in the room is what's amazing for the idea of being creative. It's I can't even explain to you how I'm sometimes sitting here and just between the guitar and the beat that's going on with my feet, it really just gets me going. I'm just like, man, we could just do something with that, So, what other questions do we have? Does it hurt your butt? You know what? It doesn't hurt. It's weird. The first maybe 3 years of the show, I didn't have any cushion at all. And I sat on this thing for most of the time. And I was doing 2-3 hour shows. But then I was thinking to myself, oh man, I'm sitting on this thing for 2-3 hours. And I'm like, why do I not have a cushion for it? So I found a nice cushion that I bought from Home Depot. This black husky thing. And I just cut it to fit the same exact size as the beat seat. And I sit on that and a piece of green screen. It's actually a foam that I had for I don't even know what that foam came from. This is green foam, but it actually works perfect with the green screen as well. And so I have that nice cushion now that I sit on whenever I sit on the beat seat, which is great. In fact, that was something we always wanted to do, was to create seats. So we have beat seats, but we have really awesome cushions that you could custom design. You can have, your logo on it, that type of thing, as the seat. That's something, again, I never was able to find a leather, we never got to the point where we were able to get someone big enough to say, hey, you know what, I want to license this and do something like that on top. How did her wind up finding it? That's a really interesting story. So that brings us back to my own musical past. In 2003, 2004, right before I did the album Something to Live For. I'm sorry, 2004, 2005. I got a call from, this is going back way far. We're talking about 2003. Okay, I go to LA for the only time in my life for 4 days. There was a talent competition, and it was for music, for acting, for modeling, for all this stuff. I don't know, something that we're looking for the best talent. It's it's like America's Got Talent, but back then. And it wasn't on TV. It was just you're going to LA and meeting these record guys, and you're meeting these talent managers and all this stuff. And so I I guess 22, 23 or something like that. I'm not even sure. Okay, so listen, what's important is this. Yeah, 21, 22. I go to LA and I meet this guy who works for Jive Records. And the takeaway is this: I took second place, and I think I could have won, and I should have won, but it's my fault. I got to the finals and it's me against this other kid, and I didn't know there were rules. I didn't know you could only do a minute and a half. I thought it's the finals. You can play, go up there and show what you do. So I took two of my songs, this song I Adore You and this song You, and I put them together into one piece because they're both in the same key as what I know a key to be. I don't know anything about music, but I know they sound similar, and I'm like, I can work those into each other from really slow and kind of mellow to this upbeat killer tune. And we got two birds. We're like, wow, this is crazy. You put two songs together in one. And so halfway through, I'm in the middle of the second song and my guitar goes out. And I'm like, something's wrong with my guitar. My battery, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, the 9-volt just went bad on my guitar. And so this is crazy. The whole room's packed. And I take my guitar and I hold it up to the microphone. I start playing and I'm still singing into the microphone. And I'm like, yeah, whatever the size, I think the song was You. And at that point, and I'm singing into the microphone with that. And then the microphone goes off. And I'm like, what the heck? And I just somehow sang and finished the song. I was like, okay, there's something wrong. So I finished the song. And afterwards, I took second place, and I'm walking, because you go in, you're walking through this corridor of different tables, and all these different record executives and talent reps and all these different groups are sitting at these tables. And if you got to a certain level, you're going to see these people because they called to see you. Like, you got at that point, So I had like 5 people who wanted to meet with me. And one of them was from Jive Records. One was from a place called Oak Records, which was a country record company. It's interesting, but they were like, we think you could be country. Would you want to do that? And I was like, no way, but I should have, because I write stories. My music is very much country. It's just not. It's blues and it's funk, and there is no description for what I do, I don't believe, because I never took any lessons. I don't know anything about the guitar. I just freaking play it. I hear stuff and I play it. And I didn't realize that. I never realized some of my favorite guitar players do the same thing. Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix didn't know anything about the guitar. Just like me. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I thought everybody was talking, Jimmy's the greatest guitar, something like that. But wait, he didn't know anything about it. But that also gives me so much courage to be like, yeah, I do what I do, because I don't need to know what the hell it is and where. I just feel and hear and I find. And that sometimes takes me a little longer than other trained musicians, so to speak. But when you hear the noises you want to make and you make them, that is the first and most important part, is the creativity. If someone knows the technique but has no freaking creative ability at all, like, this is my craziest story. I mean, I'm not even going to get through the whole story on the other one yet, but very quickly, I did take 6 lessons on the guitar, but it wasn't to learn anything but the Fur Elise. I didn't want to learn anything from this guy. I sat down with him and I'm like, can we jam a little? And he was like, he didn't know how to jam. I was playing guitar. I was like, I'm jamming on some couple riffs, and I'm just like, can you jam with me? I want to jam with somebody. I'd never done that before. It was like 6 months into me playing guitar. I wrote a couple tunes and I wanted to jam with somebody. And I was like, can you jam along with a couple things I've written? And he's like, I don't know how to do that. I was like, you can't just improvise knowing what I'm playing and just kind of play a couple of notes along. And he's like, I don't know how to improvise. And I was like, what the? And that's when I was like, I can't learn from this guy. I create, and he doesn't even know how to create. He just knows how to follow. And so I said, okay, I want you to show me how to play the Fur Elise. And he goes, what? On the guitar? I said, yeah, I want to learn how to play the Fur Elise on the guitar. I don't want to be, he goes, I can't, because there's too many notes that are not on a guitar in the Fur Elise. I said, well, okay, take those notes out and just give me the Fur Elise. They're all 6 strings, but with the Fur Elise. Who knew freaking Mark Tobin was a blues guy? But that was my favorite song ever until I started writing music. I thought The Fur Elise was the most beautiful song I'd ever heard in my life. And it still is up there for sure. But I mean, there's lots of things I hear now and I'm just like, oof. And some of them are the pieces of music we created live in the moment here, just like looped all this crazy stuff together. I found one earlier that I thought was pretty cool. And this is one that you guys can catch. They're all on, this one's not on an album yet. But check this out. Let me know what you think of this song. It's called Don't Let Them Bring You Down. Oh man, this is a good one. Let me add a little beat seat.
Day by day, take a deep breath on your way. Yeah, don't get overwhelmed. No, don't let them bring you down.
Don't ever let them bring you down.
Yeah, don't let them bring you down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The time it can happen to anyone, so don't fall into the trap. Don't let it destroy your day. Oh, don't ever let it do that. Don't let them bring you down. No matter what they're trying to do, they're trying to keep you from you. Don't let them bring you down. Traveling down the avenue, seeing souls left and right as you coast by. Oh, what a day. It's leading into the night. Yeah, take a stroll downtown. Oh, you're free. Don't forget about that love. Shuffle, yeah. Oh, in line if you step out, yeah, they're gonna give you prison time. Here or there, for bone line, yeah, you can never tell, yeah, cause they're gonna put you through hell, yeah. They want you to quit it, yeah, but then you got this thing called resolve, yeah. You can't give up, no, so you tell them go to hell, yeah. Show up every day, yeah, play right song in the moment. We're going to do what we got to break up and go above it. Yeah, all of the negativity, can you see? Yeah, when they go low, we go high. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and don't let them bring you down. Yeah. Oh, they try, don't let them bring you down. Oh, no. Show them, yeah, you got to rise above. Don't let them bring you down. decipher what's right or what's wrong, and you need to step back and you need to observe your actions and analyze it. Yeah, because sometimes you're too close to everything you're trying to get into. Oh, you don't have respect, no. Yeah, don't let them bring you down. They can never do no. Yeah, don't let them bring you down, to bring you down. Don't let them bring you down, but nobody can. Oh, don't let them bring you down. Don't let them bring you down. Don't let them bring, don't let them, no, don't let them ever bring you down, 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 down. Every time I think I'm gonna get away, yeah, they pull us back deeper and they're gonna get us living in theory. So you got to rise above and say, go pound sand you with your freaking lies. Yeah, don't let them bring you down. Yeah, yeah. They don't let them bring you down. Bring you down. Don't let them bring you down. Woo! This is when I realized I just wrote another one. Those are my favorite moments. Every time I finish up a new song live in the moment, and then you see me look off afterwards, I'm just like, what the just happened? Don't let them bring you down? Yeah, we just wrote that. What was that? 3 months ago now? Renee, how are you? So what questions have I missed, guys? Pepper Mom's here, guys. Pep is in the house, kicking it with us. Our awesome subscriber over here on the TikTok platform. Freezing. Joanne, thanks for not warming it up with your toots. Like, you're gonna toot anyway.
You know, you couldn't just come over during the, like when we were doing the monologue and tutor-looter on the guitar, you know? So at least it's warm, you know? Because now it's cold, I'm cold, and there's a cold guitar instead. You know, strings, freezing. Oh, you're warm though, Joanne? It's because you tooted and you're sitting in it. Lucky you. You know what I mean.
Oh, it's all the way up there.
I'm hearing something. Hold on. know what's crazy is because this thing just kind of moves all over all the different ranges. I think that it's not something that you can play in key with. You have to play out of key with it. Nose is running up here in this freaking cold. I'm gonna put my jacket on. It's crazy. It's actually like probably better I put this thing down and get warm here. Can we play a drum beat to this? A beat, C, beat. Just a goofy tune. What the frick is this? Waiting for someone to let their guard down, but they don't want to do that anymore. No, everyone holds all their secrets so close to home. Must be torn too. You gotta keep them close to you. Oh, and you can't let it out the back, no, 'cause you don't want to be vulnerable. I get it, but you need to let it out, my friend. Find a piece of your heart, oh, and just open it up to the world around you, the world around you. Piece it all together, you and me. I think we can if we can stop the fighting, you know, and understand we got differences, and that's okay. Yeah, so we should let ourselves fan a flame and let ourselves breathe. Yeah, oh, let all of the passion and emotion come out so freely, and then we can live with so much more harmony. Oh, 'cause it's cold out there, it's cold in here tonight. Yeah, we hit the 20s, yes. You can feel it in bones, yeah. Put on your headphones, listen to your phone, favorite songs, yeah. I don't know what I'm singing, but we're doing it.
This is how I write songs, so you know it. I'm really hearing in my head. I gotta find the words, feel into the beat that's going through my mind, yeah, 'cause it's all happening real time. Oh, if you can open up your mind to it. If you can stop for a second, realize that a word's gotta go in that place. You gotta find it, yeah, you put it in a line, makes sense. Told you could tell a story, it's not too late. Before you know it, we got another one. You can start playing on your Spotify account. Or if you still can, just go on and follow, yeah. We're gonna put another one out soon, yeah. Hope to get you to listen to, share with your friends, yeah. 'Cause you know it's what we're doing. Till the timing's gonna write a song here every night, maybe two if you come. I'll write one for you. Oh, that's how we roll. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how we roll. 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 Yeah, yeah. You gotta let it go before time takes you out. That's how we roll. Greatest soul. That's how we roll. Yeah. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Yeah, don't you know? Yeah. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. That's how
I can't freaking play anymore. My hands are frozen. The right hand is frozen, which is the one that you need to kind of move, and left hand you have to move. Gotta move them both. Fingers are moving, hands moving. Yeah, you're freezing. Doing it. Zabrask, how was it? Joanne, can you sing it? No, don't wheeze it. That's how we roll. Yep, gotta roll, gotta go, gotta get down with the flow, gotta get up and gotta get down. Yep, oh, while you can. Yet don't wanna look back and say, what did I do? What could I end up? Yep, don't wanna get caught up, yeah, in the shuffle. Yeah, don't wanna get up in all of the rubber double. I don't know what the hell a rubber double is, guys. I'm just saying, you know. But we're doing it. Yep, you know, good. Do it every night. That's how we roll. Yep, talking about from the soul. Gotta get through it, and you know we can't get through the dough unless we can get through this craziness that we're living through. Yep, I'm talking about this 2022 going 2023. Yep, hope you're gonna roll through it with me. Yep, 1,443 days in a row, get with the flow. You know, that's how we roll. That's how we roll. So, guys, I hope tomorrow you'll be rolling with me into the 1,444th day in a row. That's how we roll. Yep, we're gonna roll in it. Yep, we're gonna get into it. You gotta give me a topic or two. Gonna go in a roll with you. Yep, we're gonna flow too. And Joanne's gonna wheeze through it. Yep, that's what she does, cause she's the Soros. Yep, she go, hey, I know, you're Weezeroo. You gotta stop it, don't you? Yeah, you know, go on, go to sleep. Oh, you're sleeping already? Yep, she's back there doing a Weezeroo. I'm trying to get through to you. What she get, cause she's name is Joanne. She go, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yeah, what are we talking about? You know? What's that, Joanne? No, your wheeze is not that bad. That's how we roll. Yeah. All right, guys, so that is how we roll. Yeah, guys, when you're saying it like that, you're doing it. Sometimes you get to it. S. Coop, Stacy Michaels, Virginia, S. Coop again. That makes me happy to see that, S. Coop. That I can make you feel silly and do some dancing, because we all needed that. Stacy, Virginia, I'm seeing Christopher, my brother. You're awesome, buddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Bradley Smith, we're rolling through. I'm saying goodnight. Trish Killian, I'm saying it. Anna Treos. I'm missing people, I'm sure. I'm trying to flow through as quick as I can. Wharton Thistle, my buddy, and Barilla. And guys, when you're doing it and you have a Barilla situation, you know what happens. The party just gets going. Renee Woods. And if I missed you, you guys remember, I do appreciate you. Barilla, you rock, buddy. I do appreciate you, and tomorrow we will catch up and we will rock into the 1,444th day in a row. And if you do happen to see a piece of content pop up on your stream, please watch it and share it. And remember, if you could check and see if all notifications are turned on here on YouTube, that would be the best way to make sure you at least get as many notifications as possible that YouTube will send out. And until tomorrow.
You got to go away.
It's Mark Pires.
You got to go away.
And it's the longest running show on earth, I guess. So see you tomorrow. Love you guys. You got to go away.
You got to go